quote, "The conflict over infant baptism shows the extent to which we have lost sight of the true nature of faith. Wherever it is severed from the catechumenate, baptism loses its raison d'etre, its reason to be." Benedict XVI says that whenever baptism is separated from the catechumenate, for example in infant baptism, it loses its reason to be. Infant baptism has no meaning or purpose according to Benedict XVI. That is why in his book God and the World, Benedict XVI rejects the necessity of infant baptism as unenlightened. Benedict XVI, God and the World 2000, page 401, quote, "Question: What happens to the millions of children who are killed in their mothers' wombs?" Answer: The question about children who could not be baptized because they were aborted then presses upon us that much more urgently. Earlier ages had devised a teaching that seems to me rather unenlightened. They said that baptism endows us by means of sanctifying grace, with the capacity to gaze upon God. This was one way in which people sought to justify the necessity of baptizing infants as early as possible, but the solution is itself questionable. He says that earlier ages had devised, not received from Christ, the teaching about the necessity of baptizing infants for them to attain sanctifying grace. He says that this teaching is unenlightened. This is gross heresy. It was infallibly defined by the councils of Florence and Trent that the sacrament of baptism is necessary for salvation, and that infants who die without the sacrament of baptism cannot be saved. Benedict XVI says that visiting the Blessed Sacrament is a waste of time. In his work De Sacramentale Bedrungdung, Benedict XVI says, quote, "To go to church on the ground that one can visit God who is present